Namaskar, this is Akhilesh Bhargava. Welcome to Tit-Bits on Business and Finance with me. A week ago, the CBI court in Mumbai rejected the application of CBI to prosecute Rana Kapoor, the founder and former CEO of Yes Bank, under the provisions of the Prevention of Corruption Act. Under this act, any CMD of a bank is a public servant who can be prosecuted for corruption, but that can be done only if approval is granted by the competent authority. And when the CBI went to the court this time, it had no approval from the competent authority. Who is the competent authority? The competent authority happens to be the board of directors of the bank, and therefore CBI needs to go to the board of Yes Bank, get its approval, and then seek to prosecute Rana Kapoor under the Corruption Act. It will need to record the statement of Rana Kapoor. Rana Kapoor at the moment is lodged in the Taloja jail near Mumbai, and that's because the ED is investigating and prosecuting him on charges of money laundering. CBI will also have to record his statement, present that statement along with the draft charge sheet to the board of Yes Bank, and once Yes Bank approves it, the CBI can approach the CBI court and seek to prosecute Rana Kapoor for having indulged in large-scale corruption. It is now very clear from the facts that have come out that Rana Kapoor was indulging in loans which were given for the purpose of bribes for very many pecuniary reasons. He received a lot of financial benefits, whether he or his family, and many loans were driven for this reason. That explains why between 2014 to 2015, the loans given by Yes Bank went up by 3.7 times in a matter of 5 years. During the same period, the loans given by HDFC Bank went up by mere 1.7 times, half of what Rana Kapoor was lending in Yes Bank. But then he was on the lending spree, clearly for benefits that were going to him, illegal fraudulent benefits. Rana Kapoor's corruption case is very clear and direct in the case of loans given by Yes Bank to DHFL. This is the most direct and incriminating case, and it's for this reason that the CBI has picked up this case where it wants to prosecute Rana Kapoor for corruption. The amount involved in this case of monies given by Yes Bank to DHFL, which of course turned bad, and for which bribes were received by Rana Kapoor and his family, the amount involved is almost 5,000 crores. And this is the case which CBI has picked up. In this case, the modus operandi of bribes taken was almost similar to what Chanda Kochhar did when she gave loans to Videocon Group. Loans were given, they turned out to be bad. They were actually never meant to be recovered. And in consideration of those loans given, the borrower, which in this case happens to be DHFL, gave loans to the concerns which were owned by Rana Kapoor's daughters. Thus, the father gave the loans and the daughters received the money. It's a very direct nexus which is there, and thus forms a clear case of corruption. According to us, Rana Kapoor committed many financial crimes. He was a big-time financial criminal, if we have to say so. And of course, he benefited, his family benefited, and they all need to be punished. It is very clear from the facts that have emerged from investigation being conducted by the likes of ED, CBI, EOW, Income Tax Department, etc., that Rana Kapoor was actually a big operator. He indulged, he committed financial and banking crimes and malpractices, along with a lot of other big fish in Mumbai's top circles. Loans were given in a very fraudulent and bogus manner to the likes of Jet Airways, SL of Z Group, RCOM, DHFL, CG Power, and many others. And the kingpin in all this, of course, was Rana Kapoor. He therefore needs to be punished, he needs to be prosecuted, he needs to be penalized. And he needs to do that because these were not ordinary crimes. They were very well planned, well thought, well documented, and extensively colluded crimes to hoodwink the entire system. Of course, for the benefit of all those who were part of the collusion, and this continued for years. Why do we say that Rana Kapoor is guilty of these kind of crimes, that he indulged in them? Of course, these are facts which have emerged from investigation, as we said, but let's tabulate all those crimes that he committed were shocking and they deserve huge punishment. The first one, which is very clear, under the guardianship of Rana Kapoor, when he was in charge of the bank, For years together, bogus financial statements were made in order to hide the huge NPAs and to keep boosting profits in the process. The bank had been making huge losses because of bad loans given very consciously, but they were hidden year after year. Let me give you the indicator for this. As of December 2018, when Rana Kapoor still was in charge of the bank, the reported NPAs were just 1.18% of the total advances of Yes Bank. 1.18%. And then a year later in December 19, when he was no longer in charge of the bank and a cleanup was taking place, the reported NPAs were 18% of the loans given, more than 20 times of what was reported a year earlier. That is the way they were hidden. That also explains why, as in December 2018, the reported NPAs of Yes Bank were a mere 5,058 crores. In December 19, they shot up 8 times to 40,709 crores. Of course, the directors colluded, the auditors colluded, everyone colluded. But the kingpin, of course, was Rana Kapoor. Because of such hiding of NPAs, while in 2019 financial year, the bank reported a profit of 1,720 crores, the bank reported a loss exactly a year later of 16,418 crores, almost 10 times the profit of last year was a loss this year. The bank now admits that 63% of its corporate investments have turned bad, they are NPAs, and the NPAs are rising. At the moment, they could be in the range of 25 to 30%. All these giant NPAs were hidden very consciously in a very planned manner by Rana Kapoor by preparing bogus financial statements, of course willingly certified by the auditors. This was the first major crime committed by Rana Kapoor. It is because of these financial statements that he managed to hoodwink investors, shareholders, lenders, and anybody who gave money to Yes Bank or invested in it. And all that money that he got, he of course kept lending in a very reckless manner, very clearly for pecuniary gains. This rosy picture was shown, money was borrowed only to keep lending for his personal gains. The next reason, of course, is he indulged in loans which were given for bribes, and the clear cases of DHFL. 3,700 crores worth of loans given by Yes Bank to DHFL, another top up on it of 750 crores. And in consideration of these loans which were given by way of investment in non-convertible debentures, which never came back to Yes Bank, DHFL gave loans worth 600 plus crores to companies owned by Rana Kapoor's daughters. That was the quid pro quo, a very direct nexus, as we said, similar to what Chanda Kochar did. This was the second major crime, financial crime committed by Rana Kapoor, loans given for bribes, for corruption. The next crime that Rana Kapoor committed was duping the bank. While he had already cheated the bank when he gave loans for bribes, knowing very well that they will turn bad, he again cheated the bank when it came to recovery of those loans whenever that happened. The properties that were seized by the bank in recovery of loans were bought by Rana Kapoor's family at a huge discount to the market value, thus benefiting in the process. That happened in the case of loans worth 2,200 crores given by Yes Bank to CG Power. The bank took over properties that were belonging to CG Power's promoters, and these were valuable immovable properties in prime locations in Delhi. It is found that Rana Kapoor's family bought them at a huge discount, causing a loss of over 500-600 crores to Yes Bank. His next crime was lending to the underworld, whether directly or indirectly. It's very clear that loans given to RKW Properties, which was very clearly related to the DHFL group, were meant for the purpose of development of properties owned by Iqbal Mirchi, a dreaded gangster. This was a clear case of lending by the bank to the underworld, of course layered very well. Rana Kapoor, of course, was sure of what was happening. This was his next crime, a shocker. A senior banker not minding connects with the underworld, whether directly or indirectly. His next crime was reckless loans given. Huge loans were given to groups like Jet Airways, to SL, to Z, to RCOM, to DHFL and many others. They were reckless lending. They caused losses to the bank, and he needs to be punished for that. Further, of course, When he was thrown out of the bank, he consistently kept thwarting any further investors coming in, trying to come back into the bank through a backdoor entry that caused harm to the bank, that caused harm to its shareholders and investors. That also is a crime. And of course, while doing all this, he violated provisions of the Income Tax Act. There was tax evasion. He indulged in money laundering, and that also deserves a prosecution. That's a crime in itself. Thus, according to us, Rana Kapoor has indulged in many serious crimes, and he needs to be prosecuted. The larger picture that emerges here, according to us, is that the giant mountain of NPAs in the country of over 10 lakh crores did not get created because of one Rana Kapoor. There were many other Rana Kapoors in the system who were heading various other banks, whether in the private sector or in the corporate sector, or in the public sector. They have all indulged in well-planned, huge, well-executed, well-documented NPA accounts, which at the very inception were known to turn NPAs because they were bogus, fraudulent loans given. And these got committed only because all colluded. The top executives of the banks colluded, the auditors colluded, the outside directors colluded, the valuers colluded, the advocates colluded, all involved. And that's how we have those huge NPAs in the country today. What we have not seen, despite such outlandish, atrocious, large, shocking crimes by bankers, is appropriate punishment against any senior banker. We haven't seen any appropriate action against senior bankers in so many cases that have been unearthed. Whether it's a Nirav Modi case, whether it's Alok Industries, whether it's Bhushan Steel, Bhushan Power, SR Steel, Videocon Group, Amtech Auto, Future Group, Arcom. In none of these, where there are big NPAs involved, very clearly wrongly given loans, that we have seen senior bankers being punished. What we have only seen is that the small ones get punished, they become the scapegoats, and the big ones go scot-free. We really hope that Rana Kapoor does get prosecuted and punished. After all, at some point we need to start such punishments for this tribe of bankers who have looted India. This is Akhilesh Bhargava signing off till we meet again. Namaskar.
Now be the first to know about the latest updates on our new news app. Go on your Android or iOS, search for HW News Network. Download our app, choose the language you prefer to get updates in, and be up to date with the latest news.
If you like this video, please share it, and we would love to hear your comments in the comments section down here. Also, please do like our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter to get minute-to-minute news updates. For more such shows and videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel.